How's it going? This is William Foley. We are back on the Kim Kardashian and Kanye West divorce. There's been a lot of stuff going on recently. I think that if you've seen anything on Instagram about the TikTok drama, that's been kind of obviously there's been a lot of stuff in the tabloids, the Pete Davidson stuff and Julia Fox. There's been all the kind of relationship drama, but now there's some new drama, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about it. So that's what I'm here today to kind of talk about some of the things that have been going on. I did a video about 6-7 months ago, somewhere around there, just dealing with the background of the divorce, because they filed the divorce. So Kim K and Kanye filed the divorce back in February of 2021. So it's been a year now. I mean, I'm recording this now in February 2022. So it's been going on for about a year, one full year, and it's still going. And now with the Instagram stuff yesterday, and I got the post that I was going to share in a little bit, that Kanye disagreed with some of the things going on, that their child North has a TikTok account. So, some kids will get TikTok accounts. North is pretty young, and that's been, one of the issues with this situation is he's not in agreement with the fact that North has this TikTok account, and he's saying that he didn't have any say in North having the TikTok account. So I'm going to check the audio. I just want to make sure that that is working right now while we are kind of early on. So let me just check on that, make sure that we are looking good on the audio. Let's see here. Let's see if the audio is good. Just wanted to make sure before I start getting into the more complicated stuff with the TikTok stuff. I just wanted to make sure that was good to go. So I think we're good here on the audio. So I'm gonna just let's see here. Sounds good to me. All right, cool. So let's keep moving on that. So all right. So this is live. So just wanted to make sure that since we're live here that everything is looking good. All right. So I'm going to get into I'm going to share the first thing that came on Instagram yesterday. And this was, so let me bring this up. I'm going to bring this up on my screen. All right. So we got this. This is Kanye West's Instagram account. And as you can see, it is basically Kanye putting on his Instagram and saying, since this is my first divorce, I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will. So let me just put that as full screen. So he posted this yesterday. Actually it was 2 days ago, because now we are into February 6th. But so this was on Friday night, somewhere around Friday night I saw it. So he posted this, and he was basically asking all of Instagram for advice on his divorce, which is, to each his own. Everybody's free to, I'm a divorce lawyer in Florida, so I don't do California divorce. This isn't legal advice or anything. This is me looking at a case that I've been following for about a year now, since Kim Kardashian filed the case against Kanye. And now he's basically crowdsourcing legal advice from Instagram. And as you can see right here, there's 88,000 comments And this, I don't even know what it's at right now. I mean, I can go to his Instagram page and, I think it's somewhere around 100,000 comments. So yeah, it's 1.6 million likes and 100,000 comments. That's a lot. Especially when you're dealing with basically something regarding your child and really of a personal nature. That's the issue is this is a personal thing, obviously, between him and Kim Kardashian. And, but he's now putting it out there for the world to see. So, and as a lot of celebrity divorces will do, is they will say, can you please respect our privacy while we're going through this, put out, public statements. And then sometimes that's it. They don't really get too far into it. They don't really want people to be, up in their business, which I mean, I guess is understandable. However, when you're crowdsourcing legal advice or just parenting advice, I don't know. I don't know what this was, or to all of Instagram, and you get, again right here, 1.4 million likes when this was taken, and again it's up to somewhere around 1.6 million likes. I don't know how many eyeballs that is on it. So this was sometime yesterday or Friday, again, because now we're into Sunday morning. I'm on Florida time, but this wasn't that long ago, and to have 100,000 comments, and some of the comments are kind of as you would expect from something like this. I mean, he's putting his daughter out there and saying, hey, I want to know what to do for this. And this is, it's, as a divorce lawyer, we see people do some things on social media that, I wouldn't suggest for them to do. I don't necessarily suggest that it's always a good thing, but when you're doing it to this degree as a public figure and putting it out there for millions, it's still up. I mean, I'm looking at Instagram right now, just pulling it up, and I mean, it's still there. And, there's a lot of comments with tens of thousands of likes, lots of replies. There's a lot of people that are, I guess, giving him advice for this. But then there's a lot of people that are also saying, Kanye, you need to take this down. You need to deal with this privately between you and Kim, because, why, what's the purpose? They have a divorce pending. Like I said, it's been pending since February of 2021. We have a video linked below where I went through the divorce that it was as of that time. I think it was June of 2021. And we go through the bunch of different chapters of the divorce. So that's not for this video. This video is just, there hasn't been much going on in the court file. And I pulled the court pleadings from the docket. It's all public record. So I was going to go through that in this video a little bit and go through some of the different pleadings and just talk about some of my thoughts as a divorce lawyer. This is what I do day in and day out. I deal with divorce related matters, family law matters, and, something of this, it's of public interest. People want to know. And then when you put out there on Instagram for the entire world to see, obviously even more people are going to want to know. So again, and I'm just checking on the audio again. Let me just make sure. Okay, cool. All right, looks good. All right. So let's so basically let's see here. So this is the second. So this is, I kind of set this up in a way of, how it happened throughout the day. So it wasn't Saturday the 5th, it was Friday the 4th. Kanye first posted this on Instagram, a picture of North. And the name of the TikTok account is North's TikTok. It says Kim and North. So obviously, the idea here, or at least what it seems to be in some of these Instagram posts, is that Kim created this TikTok account for North. And here's Kim's response. So Kanye's constant attacks on me in interviews and on social media is actually more hurtful than any TikTok North might create. As the parent who is the main provider and caregiver for our children, and I'll stress that term, main provider and caregiver, because that, I think when Kanye read this, and this was posted on Kim's, so let me go full screen on this. So this was on her Instagram account. And this wasn't exactly 12 hours ago. This was again on Friday, the 4th. So she posted it like on her stories, basically. So it's now, gone. The stories, they hang around for like whatever, 24 hours or whatever it is, and then they're gone. So she posted it. So again, she made like a public statement. So he makes a public statement. 1.6 million people like it, not even read it, go through it, whatever, but like the post plus 100,000 comments. So that means that's pretty public. I mean, and I don't think either one of them at this point could say that they were trying to keep it private, because, why there's untold numbers of comments on Kanye's post which say that, Kanye, hey man, you need to take this down. Like, what are you doing? Like, I have some of these screenshots here. Let's see. This one right here. Let's see if I can do this as full screen. Actually, no, let me go back and let me zoom in a little bit. And then full screen. So this one of the top, seek legal advice and maybe not put it on social media. 88,000 likes, 211 replies. And then Mr. Gico, this next album gonna be intense. I guess that's referencing Donda too. You good, bro? Kanye, you need to chill for real. This is my favorite one. This one at the bottom from C Curtis 95. Yeah, I'm 17. I'm not ready for these types of questions. I'm sorry. 21,548 likes. That one. The kid's 17, so he's just like, what? Why is this on my Instagram feed? Why is the artist that I listen to, and obviously Curtis, I didn't click on his stuff, but it's 95. Maybe it was, that would make sense. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's 17 or not. So 17 years old, and not ready for these types of questions, because that's kind of a good point. Like, hey, this maybe isn't the best venue for this. And that kind of goes back to the video that, again, I'll link this in the replay. And if you have any comments, feel free to put it in the replay of, the video. The last part of it was, a lot about the co-parenting relationship between Kim and Kanye, and they can do this. They have 4 kids together. So this isn't just, them, kind of going at it on their own, with 4 children in common. You got to make sure that you're doing the right thing you can for them. And sometimes people, would say that, maybe making this public as, going on Instagram, maybe isn't going to be the best thing for co-parenting. And then obviously I think Kim felt like she needed to respond, and that was, I read through a little bit of the beginning of the response, and I'll go back into it a little bit more. But I think that let me just make sure on this. I'm just checking something really quick. All right, cool. So let me share this one. I'm going to go back to that. So there we go. All right, cool. So Kanye's constant attacks on me in interviews. All right, we talked about that one. Parent who's the main provider and caregiver for our children. I'm doing my best to protect our daughter while also allowing her to express her creativity in the medium that she wishes with adult supervision because it brings her happiness. Okay. So Kim's obviously of the position that this TikTok account that was created for North to use is, clearly by this statement that she made. And let me go back to full screen. So this was on her Instagram account on Friday. She felt that, there's nothing wrong with it. They're a creative family. They like to create. They like to, do this, and there's nothing wrong with it. And I've read a little bit. I haven't gone into the specifics of, other people's views on this. I'm just looking at it from a divorce lawyer perspective and my own view. That's, really what this video is about. But, from my position as a divorce lawyer, TikTok and Instagram are really not the right mediums to be going through to deal with your divorce and your co-parenting with your spouse. I mean, they're still married, well, and we'll go into that as well. They're from the perspective of the divorce being over, they're still going through the divorce. Okay. And we do have here the different, I have the different pleadings and the different information about the divorce proceeding. And I think that that's helpful, obviously, to look at it from that perspective that, there's a lot out there that they can do. They both have very good attorneys. The case docket, and I'm looking at it right now, for in Los Angeles County, it's still listing Laura Wasser as Kim's attorney and Christopher Melcher as Kanye West's attorney. So they're still represented by counsel. I know in her her Instagram post, and let me bring that one back up. Okay, bring that up. Share screen. All right. Okay. So bring that one back up. So, she said in here, I wish to handle all these matters regarding our children privately. Hopefully he can finally respond to the third attorney he has in the last year to resolve any issues amicably. So, and again, some divorces there, you go through a number of different attorneys. I've been doing divorce law for 15 years. So, sometimes I'm the second attorney on a case, sometimes the third, fourth, fifth attorney, sixth attorney on the case. So the fact that Kanye's had, I guess what Kim is saying is 3 attorneys by now, that happens. That's not completely out of the realm of possibility that somebody would say, all right, let me test the waters a little bit and get a different attorney. And you want to have that kind of be on the same page with your attorney and want to make sure that you guys are clicking. But there's not really much going on in their case. That's just the reality of the situation. They're not dealing with some of those things within the case that they could be dealing with, and especially stuff like this. Now, what's happening between the attorneys and whether or not, like what it states right here, and let me do full screen on this. So I wish to handle all matters regarding our children privately, and hopefully he can finally respond to the third attorney he has had in the last year to resolve any issues amicably. So there's a lot to unpack there. Obviously, he can finally respond to the third attorney he has had. So again, there's, the way I would read that, is that maybe he's not dealing with his attorney, and maybe they're reaching out to try to negotiate on certain things with the children or ways to resolve the case. And that he's moved from attorney to attorney. I don't know what, because it doesn't say hopefully he can finally respond to my attorney. Yeah, that would be different. Saying like, oh, well, we sent out something and he hasn't responded yet. Okay. Water. Getting some water. That's different. So, saying that they've sent over maybe a settlement offer or something like that, that would be saying that, maybe he hasn't responded back to Laura Wasser saying, this is different. This is, if you just look at the word, hopefully he can finally respond to the attorney he has had. Respond to the attorney. So, and maybe that's just saying, maybe she wrote this quickly. I doubt it. I'm guessing she has probably publicists and other people, helping her to write up these different types of statements. Maybe she's writing it on her own. With Kanye's, it seems to be very spur of the moment and emotional. So it seems a little bit more likely it's him doing it. But obviously, there's some portions in here, where it says divorce is difficult enough on our children and his obsession with trying to control and manipulate our situation so negatively and publicly is only causing further pain for all. From the beginning, I've wanted nothing but a healthy and supportive co-parenting relationship because it is what is best for our children, and it saddens me that Kanye continues to make it impossible every step of the way. Yeah. Again, in the video that I did back in June, that was what I said, is if they can continue to have really good communication, if they can continue to be on the same page, and that's what they said they wanted. That's what Kanye said he wanted. He said he wanted to have a good co-parenting relationship. He said he wanted to, make sure to put the 4 children first. And that is something that it's, from what it's sounding like, is not occurring. If you're saying that that she's wanted the healthy, supportive, and it saddens me, continues to be, make it impossible every step of the way. Again, I think it can be at least read into it that there's, some difference of opinion between the two of them with how they're dealing with the divorce. So I'm going to bring up a couple of the different things from the divorce because I feel like it's interesting. And they just asked for a bifurcation of the divorce. And I'm going to bring that one up. Let me do that. All right. So share screen. Just give me 1 second. All right. Share this. All right. So this is the divorce pleading that was filed, looks like December 13th of 2021 by Kim's attorney, Laura Wasser. So as you can see right here, it says, and I know these are kind of like confusing, some of these different pleadings, documents that are filed. And again, I'm a divorce lawyer in Florida, so if I talk, a little goofy and say a bunch of dumb words, I'm sorry. It's just, when I read these things, I'm not, this isn't like staged. I didn't really go through this. I'm just going through some of these different documents. And, just of what my view of it is. And this is, for they're requesting for a separate trial on the termination of marital status. Okay. So that, to me, and again, in Florida, it's a little bit different. What we do is we bifurcate the proceeding. All right, that was just stupid. I don't even know why I just said that. So you split it apart. You split apart the proceeding. You deal with the divorce first to get the parties divorced, and then you deal with everything else separately. So you deal with like all the assets, the children's issues. You again, you split it up. That's what it is, bifurcate. So that's what was filed, and that was filed by Kim's attorney on December 13th. So a request for a separate trial, okay? Separate trial on the termination of marital status. So again, that means that she wants to bifurcate the case, so to split apart the case, enter the divorce, return her to the status of single, which, they filed this back in February of 2021, and we're in February of 2022. So a year later, they've both clearly moved on with dating. Obviously, Kim Kardashian with Pete Davidson, and Kanye West with Julia Fox. So they're both dating somebody else. They're both, moved on from that. There's been tons of different interviews and things that have come out, over the past however many months, of usually kind of from Kanye's side of saying that he doesn't really want the divorce, and wants to, hasn't really seen anything, hasn't, really. I want to be careful about it because, again, I think that he said, okay, so he said it in a interview. It was on Drink Champs, right? And he had said that he wanted the kids to stay together. He wanted him and Kim to be together. And he had said on there, and this was something that I'd written down because I thought it was interesting. He said, at the end of the day, I ain't got the paperwork yet. Okay. So, I mean, that's, to me, it's kind of what it's saying to the outside world is like, I don't even know. I don't know what's going on with the divorce, and then he said, I'm trying to come on and save my family. I'm abbreviating, and keeping my family together. So this was when he was interviewed by Drink Champs. So basically his response in the divorce does say differently. So, I mean, and again, this is just, let me pull this up. So I'm going to pull up his divorce response that was filed. And again, it's filed by his attorney, but it was filed. So let me bring this up. All right. So, okay. So this is his, all right. Why does it always do that? This was filed by his attorney, Christopher Melcher, back in April 9th of 2021. And this is, obviously the case, Kimberly Kardashian West versus Kanye West. And this is his response and request for dissolution of marriage. We are married. And I'm going to just flip down here because see Kanye West. You see right here, 4/9/21, Kanye West. Apparently that's his signature. And then his attorney and his signature. So, and these are under penalty of perjury, that the true and foregoing is true and correct, state of California. So, okay, so legal relationship, we are married. Okay. This is his answer and response to Kim's petition. And Kim's petition basically is just saying, hey, we need a divorce, but I can go through that one too. But I felt like this one was a little bit more because that interview he gave when he did that, it was a few months back, I think, and I saw it. I was like, It doesn't make a little, it doesn't make sense because he filed a response. You know, he signed it. So it says, we are married. You know, petitioner meets the residence requirements, you know, resident state of California for 6 months, and of this county for at least 3 months. That's a little bit different in some states. California's a little bit different on that specific county. Florida, it's like, you know, you got to do 6 months of residency. So every state's a little bit different on these residency requirements. But this is just, as you can see, this is just a super basic form of, you know, just saying, hey, we're married. Me and Kim married. We're residents. We got married then. Date of marriage, May 24, 2014. Date of separation to be determined. Minor children, listing out their names. And, you know, this is something I will say for, you know, what Florida, I feel like, has done pretty well with, you know, a lot of these different things. And because these are all public record. I mean, anybody can get this information. Florida uses initials for the children's names and does, you know, kind of redacts, you know, dates of birth and their ages. It's, you know, and I know every state's a little bit different on how they do it, but I'm not telling California, not that they would listen to me anyways. I'm just saying that, you know, redaction of these different types of things, because so many different media outlets and so many different places, and it's public record. Anybody's entitled to this. So, you know, you don't need to do the full names. I mean, it's not, you know, this is just what Florida, you know, California law is requiring, but some other states have kind of gone to that side of saying, hey, let's put in the least amount of information necessary on the kids, because this isn't their fault. You know, so the parents are going to be the ones that need to deal with it, not the kids. So it lists out their names, and then legal grounds, respondent. So that's Kanye. Okay, so I'm going back, right? This was going back to what we were doing before. This is kind of like what I would do in trial. Like if somebody's like, no, I've never seen anything. I ain't signed anything. I don't know what. Okay, this is your answer. This is your response. Now, this is what I do during cross-examination, you know, on April 9th, 2021, right? There's your signature, April 9th, 2021. Is that your signature? Is that it? Okay, let's go back. Legal grounds, respondent, which is Kanye, requests divorce. And based upon irreconcilable differences. Basically saying it didn't work. Marriage didn't work. Okay. And then they go into like what you want. And like I said, there's those two different things. And what Kim is asking for in that other document that I had just shown was she was asking for the court to split apart the proceeding. She was looking for the court to move things aside and say, all right, let's return them to the status of single, and then deal with everything else a little bit later on. Just check the audio on this really quick. All right, just making sure it is still going well. All right, cool. Just using a little bit different camera, so I just want to make sure it is not not giving me problems. So, all right. Let's see here. So respondent requests divorce for irreconcilable differences. And then it goes into, you know, joint custody, visitation. Let's see here. Let me get out of here. Let's just see a different version of it. You can see it a little bit more clear on this one. It's just got all the Adobe stuff in there. So respondent, so respondent requests divorce of the marriage based on irreconcilable differences. And then they go into what they're asking for custody for the kids, child support, terminate court's ability to award support to either party. So neither one of them are asking for alimony from each other. Confirm there's separate property, the following list, and according to proof at time of trial or settlement. So that's a little bit. I've seen some of these celebrity divorces in California, and it's kind of normal. That little phrase right there, just saying, hey, when we get to trial, then we'll let you know. We'll let you know what the stuff is, because so many of these, especially these mega big celebrity cases, usually end up settling. They don't usually end up going all the way to court. Like Dr. Dre's just settled just recently in December, and they were able to finalize everything. And a case like this too is with as much media attention and as much going on, there's a lot of, that a lot of times people would want to do it, and they would want to go ahead and finalize it. But again, that's going to be up to them. So, and again, community and quasi-community property, according to proof at time of trial or settlement. Attorney's fees and costs payable by petitioner or respondent. So each of them pay their own attorney's fees and costs. And again, we've already talked about this before. Kanye West, 4921, there's a signature. So, and that is attorney's signature. So, and then they send it out, they file it with the court, send it over to Laura Wasser. And there's another pleading that right around the same time when Kim did this request for a bifurcation, I call it a bifurcation because that's what it's called in Florida. In California, there's different names that you can call it, but they're calling it request for a separate trial on the termination of marital status. So they're asking for a court hearing to be heard, 8:30 a.m. on no date. I got the room number, but no date. So basically, the goal in this one's a little longer. They go through different information of like why to bifurcate the divorce, why they should, why the court should do this and enter this without doing everything all at once. Again, this is a different thing than what Florida does. Here, I think they're just wanting to make sure that nobody's, going to have any major issues if the court does give a separate trial on ending it. And then they add in these memorandum of points and authorities. And she calls it your request for order to bifurcate the issue of marital status. So again, it's kind of, that's the legal term, terminate legal status, bifurcate it, set it aside. And again, this just gets into, this is I did briefly look at this one, just kind of a well-written memorandum of law or law on the issue of why the court should separate the marital status of the parties and why the court should say, all right, Kim, Kanye, now you guys are separate. You guys are good to go. And yeah, so a lot of this is just kind of normal legal, this is a declaration of Kimberly Kardashian West. She's the petitioner. She submits it requesting for an order bifurcating and terminating the status of respondent Kanye West. Her allegations are true. Terminate marital status. And then just enter and they said they attached. So basically what they want the court to enter is this order. And it's kind of blank. So basically it's it's in order to enter this, basically saying, hey, you need to so Exhibit A. There we go. All right. Declaration for default or uncontested dissolution. So basically saying, hey, let's just end it. Let's have it be over with, and we'll deal with the other stuff as it comes up. This happens pretty significantly in a lot of these celebrity divorces. Most of the ones that I've been seeing in California that are especially these where there's issues to be dealt with, where they're not going to agree, or it's taking some time. Like Dr. Dre's was another one. They wanted to make sure they bifurcated, separated, divorced, and then they just dealt with like the prenup and all those different types of issues later. Brad and Angelina Jolie, again, we did a video on that I will link up either there, or there, or there, or there, or there. So I'll link that as well. So you can see the information about Brad and Angelina Jolie's divorce. But for Kim and Kanye, this is something that they have to make a determination on what they're going to do. Obviously, with Kim filing this in the middle of December, and that was kind of the main big thing filed in this case since then. So it looks like there is a request for bifurcation, a request for an order of bifurcation on March 2nd of 2022. So I'm looking at the docket right now. The docket is where they keep all the legal stuff for the case, and all the legal documents, and it shows the information, who the judge is, who the attorneys are, and what the hearings coming up are. So the next hearing is March 2nd, 2022. So it doesn't say it in there in that one notice, but it looks like they set it. So March 2nd, 2022, 8:30 a.m., Department 63 in LA. And it's a request for an order of bifurcation. So basically, Kim's saying, again, let's just terminate the marital status and let's move on. So so that is the bifurcation part. That is where I'm going to stop sharing this one. And let me check on because I'm going to go back to those Instagram. Go back to the Instagram stuff first. Let me see. Let me get to because we talked about Kim's, and then because Kanye did a response to Kim's. So, like I said, the first one was where he put a picture of Northwest, and he put it out there on Instagram saying it was just a screenshot of the TikTok. And then he said, since this is my first divorce, I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will. Okay. So the reality is, that could have been dealt with in a different, way. I mean, if that's, and he is not my client, obviously, neither one of them are. This is not, I don't have any inside knowledge on any of this. All I know is that he needs to talk to an attorney about it. He needs to speak to his attorney about it. And I don't think Instagram is the right place for this. And the vast majority of the comments that are on here, okay, let's bring this one up. I'm going to bring up this one. Share screen. Share it. Okay, so talk to her personally. Man, take this down, bro. Keep this private. So, I mean, it just keeps, kind of going on and on of I think people understanding this is just not a good look. This is not the way to go. Keep this private. My first divorce. I mean, talk to her personally. So I do not disagree on that part of it, of that this should be personal between the parents. This is not the way to begin that healthy co-parenting relationship. Because I don't, the first tweets that are up there, it's like after this, after the first post, and then the first ones that are up there, so this is my first divorce, and then the ones with, tens of thousands of likes. A lot of them are saying, TikTok is the worst thing to happen to our society, specifically to American kids. Sending my loves and prayers. I don't know, that little face. 28,000 likes for a Mia face. Okay. And then do not be bothered by any attempt to dictate your mood or alter your character. Games are being played, so don't play into them. These are your obvious attempts to upset you. Do not lose. So again, a lot of them are people reaching out to him and just, kind of saying, hey, we're in your corner. Don't let it get to you. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with, people wanting to, help him out and, stand up for him. And everybody's free to their opinion on these things. It's just the issue is it's playing out extremely publicly. Like that's why when I saw this, I'm like, I don't know if I've seen anything like this before. And it's because it's so public. We got you got the first one where he just says, boom, this is my first divorce. I need to know what to do. Then boom, Kim just clap back. Right. Boom. Constant attacks on me in the interviews and social media, more hurtful than anger. And that was quick. I mean, that was, it was pretty quick that this, she came back to her 200 and how many, 260 million, I think. Let's see here. I'm pulling up Instagram. 284 million followers. So she said, like, and I understand that was like I don't even know if it's called a story. I know it's called a story on Facebook, but I think it's something. Let's call it a story. So she put it up, and it doesn't stay there forever. It goes up for a little while, and obviously, this was her statement. It wasn't made to a media source. It wasn't made to TMZ. It wasn't made to Oprah. It wasn't made to, this is kind of the way that society is going now, is they're taking it into their own hands of how they're controlling their own narrative of the information that's being put out there about their lives. Especially a lot of celebrities, and some of them are doing this very, I don't know. Maybe this is a publicist. Maybe this is a manager. Maybe somebody else wrote this with him. But this looks like him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just looks like he on his phone or, just wrote it. Took a screenshot from TikTok and then posted it. And it's immediate. It's so much different than so long ago of, when you would be using, more mainstream media for disseminating all this information. And one of the things that I was thinking about the other day was, drink water for this. So, I'm a huge Tampa Bay Bucks fan. I am. My whole life, I've been a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. Tom Brady obviously has been here in Tampa Bay for the last couple of years, and we won a Super Bowl, and then we almost won another Super Bowl. Very close, very, very close. Amazing last game as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and as you know, his retirement is now official. Adam Schefter tried to do the release of saying that he was retired. He did that on last Saturday, and Tom Brady allegedly reached out to Jason Light, who's the general manager of the Bucks, and was like, "Hey, I haven't made up my mind yet. I don't know if I'll let you know when I'm what it is, but." And then I think it was around Tuesday of last week that he released his own statement. And was it like the LeBron? Remember the LeBron James? When he was taking his talents to Miami, and he had that that interview on ESPN. It was like an hour-long special, and he was sitting in the middle of the gymnasium, and they were in chairs, and that kind of he got kind of beat up and vilified for that for a long time, a really long time. I don't know if that started to turn the tide a little bit with some of these, because normally these types of things would have been through interviews. I mean, right? With Tom Brady, his retirement, as being one of the greatest football players of all time, if not the greatest. I'm sure everybody could, debate me on that, if they believe that or not, or greatest, the GOAT for all sport. I don't know. I mean, I don't know that. I mean, I guess that's a subjective, view on it. But he's pretty darn good. I don't think people are gonna really fight on that Tom Brady is pretty exceptional and had an exceptional career. So everybody wanted that story of his retirement. Everybody would love to have had that interview, and he chose to create his own narrative. He went on Instagram and posted a very lengthy, well thought out 5-screen post. So basically, like the first screen's like, hey, you got to have 100% commitment. I guess I could pull up the screenshots for that, but that's not the part of this video. This does tie in. This ties in. Or I might just clip this out and do this as a separate video. I don't know. But it ties in because he took control of his narrative. He took control of what he wanted to say to the world. So Tom Brady wanted to say on his own terms of how he was going to retire. And he made that decision. He made a very public decision that he was going to retire, and he was going to, do it, like I said, how he wanted to. And he didn't do it through, sometimes they're press release. And again, I don't know if Tom Brady has somebody helping him with draft some of these. A lot of the videos that he seems to be doing and posting on Instagram and, from the different business ventures that he has TB12 and Brady and the autograph business. So he's got those 3 businesses. A lot of the stuff he's doing, seemingly he's doing it on his own, and probably sending it to somebody to kind of edit and cut up and and disseminate. But a lot of these things it seems to be that he's doing. Like Elon Musk is another good example. He's one of the wealthiest, or is the wealthiest person in the world, or whatever. Forbes. I don't know. Whatever. He's very wealthy, obviously. But yeah, that's probably him on Twitter. I mean, it's pretty frequent, and it's he's saying what he wants to say. So it's just so interesting, because for so long there were you had to go through different sources to do it. This normally would have been like Diane Sawyer, Tom Brokaw, Oprah, 60 Minutes type interview with Tom Brady of Walter Cronkite, Larry King. I don't know. I mean, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, it was such a different way of saying, like for Tom Brady, that he's retired, and he went to Instagram and he said, no, I'm going to say what I want to say, how I want to say it, and nobody's going to be able to control the narrative and turn things around on me and do that. So, again, more power to him. And I think that's going to continue. I think we're going to see that, like, to a pretty, not extreme degree, but I think it's going to be way more than, I had expected it to happen, and to happen that quickly, because I think everybody would have wanted that interview. I think everybody would have wanted that retirement interview. But also the other side of it is, with the interview is, just like the retirement announcement, it was leaked. It didn't have the narrative that he wanted. I mean, I saw something out that day like, oh, he's going to sign for the Patriots for one day and then retire. So he's retiring to Patriots. I mean, I haven't heard anything of that. And maybe that's part of it, but it's like sometimes somebody will run with one little part of it and then it just escalates, as opposed to if he just says, hey, this is what it is. This is my life. This is what I'm going to do. So, and that's what Tom Brady did on Instagram the other day. He took control of the narrative and how he wanted it to be disseminated and put out to the world. It was extremely well received. And then obviously all the news sources ran with that, took that. It's kind of like an AP or a Reuters, they just, they took it and they ran with it, and they, mass published it. But it came from him in the exact specific wording that he wanted it to be. So, roping that back around to this is what Kim Kardashian wanted to say. Kanye's constant attacks on me in interviews on social media is actually more hurtful than any TikTok North might create. This is what she wanted to put out there. That's, her right to put it out there, just as it was Kanye's right to put this out there. So, again, this is, I think divorce 101, but I mean, it's a tit for tat. And I try to tell clients as a divorce lawyer, and my name is William S. Foley. I'm a divorce lawyer in Tampa, Florida, do divorce and family law matters. And I tell clients to, to be careful of being caught up, obviously, in that tit for tat type of situation. And that's just, to me, that's just what this is right now. This is, this is, this came out from Kanye, and then Kim came back, with hers. And then, not to be outdone, boom. Kanye. All right. So Kanye West posts. This was, I don't know. So this is as a real, I don't know. So anyways, so Kanye West. This was just shortly after. Let me do this. All right. So what do you mean by main provider? So that's how Kanye starts it off. So yeah, he didn't take that very well. So and when I was reading that before, I said, if you haven't seen this, like, this is, because what Kim said was, as the parent who's the main provider and caregiver for our children. And then what do you mean by main provider? So yeah, he wasn't feeling that. America saw you try to kidnap my daughter on her birthday by not providing the address. He put security on me inside of the house to play with her son, accused me of stealing. I had to take a drug test after Chicago's party, caused you to accuse me of being on drugs. Tracy Romaloff, stop manipulating Kim to be this way. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I'll come back to that one. Yeah, this is where, and again, for I don't deal with clients with 284 million Instagram followers. Um, and if I do someday, I would be telling them, don't do this. That's what I would tell them. Obviously, no question in my mind. This is just not a great. It's just not a great way to deal with this. Because this is a conversation between the two of them, which should be, again, a private conversation, probably over text message or through their attorneys or through their managers and their people. I mean, they have people. They don't have. They got people. They got a lot of people that can help them with a lot of different aspects and areas of their lives. If they don't, I mean, you should. I mean, you got so. If he had a question like that, that's clearly something I'm sure he could be asking of her. But that wasn't the real. That's this was more again controlling his narrative. This is the narrative that he wants to put out there. This is and it's reality for him. In his mind and in any divorce. How it's happening and how you see it is only through the lens that you see the world and that you see life and what's happening. And I really feel like he does believe a lot of these things. The problem is that it's just not a great way to go about dealing with it. It's as simple as that. What do you mean main provider? America saw you try to kidnap. I mean, it's just not necessary. It's really just not necessary. And I'm sure he'll say, well, Kim, you shouldn't have said this about being a main provider. I mean, he didn't even reference, finally respond to the other attorney and we can handle it. Let's do it privately and all that. That was not, that was not the response. So, and then the next one he posted, this is today or yesterday, Saturday. It's now Sunday morning Eastern Standard Time. So, so there was so I guess there was a tweet, TMZ, Kanye West shades Kim Kardashian over Northwest on TikTok. And then correcting ye headlines, corrected Kanye West wants to say on how his children are raised. Positive corrected headlines about Kanye West. And then Kanye West, TMZ, my children are not a game to me. I need an apology for how you tried to spin the narrative. You are not being a fair media source. You're picking sides against the dad. So, I guess because they said shades her over Northwest. So I guess he wants an apology from TMZ about that. I mean, okay, maybe they'll give it. Maybe not. So these were just some of the other comments that we went to. And again, like I said, this one right here is just for me is perfect illustration. I'm 17. I'm 17. I'm not ready for these types of questions. I'm sorry. I mean, it's their personal stuff. It's their parenting stuff. And I know, I'll probably in the replay on this get comments of people saying, oh, well, you're talking about it. Yeah, well, I'm a divorce lawyer. Like, this is what I do for a living. I do divorce. I know what happens in divorces. And for me to analyze these situations, look at these pleadings and look at, pleadings, documents, look at the documents in the case, it's very easy for me to look at it and to understand what's going on. And then also from this perspective, from my perspective of like how these types of things affect a co-parenting relationship, and as public as it is, how it's going to likely affect the children as time goes on. And for this 17-year-old that got this question from Kanye, Yeah, no, he's not ready for those types of questions. He's not ready to be able to answer it. And again, that's rightfully so. So, all right. Oh, there was a couple others. Let's see. Yeah, let me share the screen again on that. Share screen. Okay. All right. Got it. All right. So there was this one today, yesterday, and it's now early Sunday morning, but on Saturday he had said, I want to bring my kids to my hometown of Chicago to see my basketball team play for 7,000 people. And Kim is stopping that. How is this joint custody? 9,000 comments, 494,000 likes. Yeah. So, I mean, again, that's something that likely should be dealt with between the two of them, and discussed between, Kim, or the attorneys, and um, whether he's able to bring them to Chicago to see the basketball team play. I don't know. I don't know what the circumstances were surrounding that. If they're going to have it play out in the court of public opinion, that's their choice. They have a choice whether they want, everybody else to have a say or they have a say about it. But the reality is that they could just deal with this between themselves. I mean, I think that's just a perfectly viable option for them. And then for the future, and then some of the responses and comments, that were kind of, again, standing in solidarity with him, which again, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to, and this post was also, this was on Saturday, so just yesterday, hours ago, 20,000 comments to it, 727,000 likes. Candace Owens, no 8-year-old in the world that needs social media. Go color. Kim is wrong on this one. Psychological effects of social media on young girls is real and documented. It's actually Kanye is trying to protect his daughter in this regard, and Kim is spinning this as obsession and control. There are other creative outlets for kids. Thank you for Candace. So, I will no longer put my hand through a blender to hug my children. Yeah, I don't know. So, you discuss it with her mother and not social media. This is this is tricky. This is not a, like, and I'm sure that some people say, well, this isn't tricky. This is, that, maybe because of her age, maybe she shouldn't be on TikTok. Maybe she shouldn't have an account. But I think the this one, right, discuss it with her mother and not on social media. Like, he's on social media talking about social media. Like, there's a little bit of irony in that. And I get it. I get it. That it's not, this is his page. He's allowed to say what he wants, and it's not his daughter's page. Because the TikTok was a Kim and Northwest page, TikTok page. But it's still, it's still social media. And then if you look at Kanye's account, I mean, one of the things that, let me unshare this. One of the things that I remembered, because again, earlier in this live stream, I talked about being a Bucks fan and being a big Tom Brady fan as well. And, I remembered that when I think it was November of last year. And let's see. So it was November 22nd of 2021. Kanye West went to a Bucks game. I guess he was in like a suite or something. And he posted a video to Instagram of his 5-year-old son, Saint West, playing in one of the suites at the Bucks game. And he was actually, Saint West was actually throwing a ball back and forth between Tom Brady. So it was just Tom Brady in the video and Saint West, and Kanye was there and taking the video or whatever. And which is awesome. I mean, I think, any parent would be super psyched, Tom Brady, throwing the ball around with them after the game. So, and he posted it. He posted that video of Saint West, 5 years old, on Instagram, on Kanye's Instagram account. And so I just looked at it like an hour ago, and there was like 2.6 million views or something after a couple months. And so again, I understand there's a difference. But Saint being 5, being on one of Kanye's videos on Instagram, also a social media platform, and then North having a TikTok account. But it's different. Okay, I get it. It's different. But is it something that needs to be brought in front of tens of millions of people? It was made to be a public spectacle, and now the public will discuss it. And they've released statements. He released a statement on his Instagram, and that's why I kind of, went through the stuff with Tom Brady's retirement. This is the way people are releasing statements now. This is the way people are making statements on behalf of themselves. So he started it. She reciprocated in kind, and he followed it up, and then followed it up, and followed it up. Yeah, I've looked at her. I'm gonna look right now. It's a fashion one. I'm not seeing anything else on Instagram. I don't know if maybe on I don't maybe know about on like Twitter or something. I don't know. But I'm seeing kind of if you look at the top 6 Instagram posts by Kanye, it's all dealing with this issue. So this has clearly been a choice that he has made to deal with this in a public fashion. And my suggestion, not that either one of them necessarily cares, but I guess just for anybody that's watching, not dealing with these types of issues on social media. Not when there's children involved this young. They both have exceptional attorneys, in whatever the situation with Kanye's attorney. I'm just saying it because of Kim's statement about responding to his, he needs to respond to his third attorney. So whoever it is that's representing him, I mean, it would be through there, and then the attorneys can discuss and try to deal with it and get the parents to being able to talk. There's a lot of different co-parenting platforms that are available now that parents can be able to talk to each other and communicate with each other in a productive way. Instagram press releases, in essence, and that's kind of really what this is with that, with these types of followings, 268 million or 286 million, and with Kanye of 10.8 million followers. I mean, those are press releases. Those are very, very public press releases. So, I hope that, as they're continuing to go through this, they do use their attorneys and find ways to proactively deal with these types of things that are invariably going to come up. And in the first video, which again, I'm going to link at the end of this video. So if you're interested in any more information about it and a more kind of, this was a live stream. So it's just been more me going through some of the things that have occurred since then, because again, the court file is just, it's interesting, for a year. I get it. They've been dealing with some other stuff. There was one, bifurcation. There was one stipulation about Kim's house that she got regarding, she got advanced some credits. Oh, let me share that real quick. So this one right here, this was a stipulation regarding advanced distribution of assets and an order by the parties. This is their transfer of their Long Valley residence and the contents. So this was their house in Long Valley. So petitioner being Kim, respondent being Kanye. Kim shall acquire the Long Valley residence and contents from Kanye for $23 million. $20 million allocated to the residence and $3 million related to the contents. Upon execution, 3 business days, enter a joint escrow account. There's a mortgage loan on it too, which is interesting. I only say that. I mean, I don't know the specifics of it. I'm just saying it's, with their net worths, a lot of times a mortgage is not necessary. But, I'm sure they have a reason why there is a mortgage on that residence. So, and this is just more kind of like just legal jargon. They both signed it September 20th. Again, so that goes back to the part of, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any doc. I mean, this is in conjunction, with the divorce, court reserving on distribution of division of assets and child custody. So they, he knows the divorce is going on. He's filed a response. There's a stipulation. Yeah, 23 million. So this was kind of more of one of the more substantive documents that were in the case. So I thought it would be interesting, at least to look at. Some of the other things are just real kind of basic. Like this is a case management order saying that they need to go, and have a case resolution conference to meet and confer. Again, I'm not going to go through that stuff. This is, again, the petition that we discussed before. And this is actually her. This is actually, I did not bring this up. This is her divorce petition in February 19th of 2021 that she filed through her attorney, Laura Wasser, asking for the marriage. This is the initial one. So February 19th, 2021. And right now it's February 6th, 2021. So we are approaching the 1-year mark. And this is just, again, when she actually filed. So let me close these out. Close those out. And let's see. All right. So the other documents that have been filed in the case really aren't that instrumentally important for the purposes of this video. I think I think they've been trying to deal with a lot of things behind the scenes. And I think I applaud them for that. And the more that you can do behind the scenes that aren't just kind of fought out either in court or in the court of public opinion, probably the better. This is just that. And I'm not saying this is the first. I mean, that talked about the interview that Kanye gave a few months back when he had discussed about that he hadn't got the paperwork yet, and he's trying to save his family, and the kids want their parents to stay together, and I want us to be like all that type of stuff. And that was after Kim went on SNL. So obviously he was not happy with some of it in the way what had occurred. So. But other than that, like I said, they're both moving on, dating other people, trying to divide different properties, and deal with a lot of the issues in the divorce. But it's going to come down, just as the video, and again, I'll link it at the end, to whether or not they're going to be able to co-parent together successfully, or whether this is going to be something that's going to continue to be an ongoing battle between the two of them. This is 4 children. They're very young. They're not. This isn't like a 17 and a half year old or something. I mean, this is young children with a lot of time left that hopefully they can get through this and get through this period. And I am sure there will be numerous people that are close to both Kim and Kanye, imploring both of them to kind of keep it out of the public eye and deal with this stuff between them. And you can have lots of different people that can help, to deal with a lot of these different issues. It doesn't have to be so public. So, but only time will tell. So thank you. Thank you for watching. I'm sure we'll have some other information as things come up, and have a great day. Thank you.